Hello everybody. Today we are going to do the lesson in ALEX that has to do with rectangular and triangular prisms and pyramids. So here are all the formulas that you need to have in order to do the assignment. Just remember, all you have to do is just pause this video to write down the formulas, okay? I'm going to start with the rectangular prism formula right here. Pretty much everybody knows that. When you have like a rectangular prism, which is like a box, a three-dimensional box, and we're looking for volume, and I didn't put volume on here, so volume equals length times width times height. All right, we know this. So you just have three numbers and you multiply them all together, and that is what you get. That's how you get the volume of a rectangular prism, okay? Then there's a triangular prism formula, and that's right here, all right? You can see there's a triangle. We call this the base, and then these are all prisms. Prisms are all the rectangular pieces that are all around a triangle connecting to another triangle to make a three-dimensional looking tent, if you will, okay? There's the bottom, there's the side, and there's the two triangles, okay? But to find the volume of this, we just need to find the area of our base, which is a triangle, and that formula is taking 1/2 of either of these numbers, multiplying it times the other, or multiplying both of these numbers and taking 1/2 of it, but we've talked about this a lot at school. So finding the area of the triangle and simply multiplying that times the number they're going to tell you for this length right here of that rectangular piece, okay? So it's not part of the triangle, as you can see. It's connecting two triangles to make a tent. So here's this height, that's what they usually call it, and we're going to multiply that times the triangle, which we also call the base, and that's 1/2 of either of the base or the height times the other number to get the area of the triangle, and then multiply that times the height. And that's how you get the volume of a triangular prism, okay? Then we have, I'm going to come on down, all of this is what I just said. I'm not going to have to go over that. And one more pretty picture I made. Okay, the last thing is the pyramids. The pyramids are real simple. They don't look like it because you look at a picture and you go, wow, it's a pyramid, and I see this dotted line down the middle, I see a right angle, I see numbers, what does all that mean? Well, just like we have in cones, I want you to think about a cone, okay? So you have a height in a cone, right? And you're going to deal with the radius in that cone. So here we have a height as well, and it's a point. It all comes to a point, just like the cone does. And interestingly enough, the rectangular prism is just very similar to the cone, because when we have a cylinder, all right, the cone formula is just taking the cylinder formula and dividing it by 3, or multiplying the cylinder formula by 1/3. Okay, so just like we do that with the cone and the cylinder, we do the same thing by taking a rectangular prism formula, which is length times width times height for volume. We just divide it by 3, because the rectangular prism divided by 3 gives us a pyramid. It's like shaving off the rectangular prism to 1/3. Okay, so again, you'll be given 3 numbers. You'll give a height. There's your height, just like it is in the cone. Okay, same thing. That's a height, and a length, and a width. So we do, just like we would with rectangular prism, multiply length times width times height. But since it comes to a point, we're going to divide that answer by 3. Okay, so that's it. Now we're ready to start our assignment. Okay. So there's some word problems, and then there's some just finding the volume of the different shapes. So we'll start with the word problems, okay? Company makes wax candles shaped like rectangular prisms. Okay, so we know, and each candle has a length, a width, and a height, and we know we multiply all those together. If the company used 5,100 cubic centimeters of wax, how many candles did they make? So you multiply the 5 times the 4 times the 15, and if you know your basic facts, you can just say 20 times 15 on your calculator. 20 times 15, and that's going to give me 300. Okay. We take this 5,100, and again, so that equals 300. So this is how much it is for one candle, and that's how much wax is used for one candle. But they used 5,100 cubic centimeters of wax. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out whether we divide this into this or multiply this. And if you remember what I said, when you have really big numbers, it's always going to be a division problem, and it is here as well. So how many candles, with this is how much one is, and this is how much all of it is. We're going to divide 300 into 5,100. So 5,100 divided by 300 equals 17. All right, so 17 what? How many candles did they make? 17. So this equals 17 candles. That's what they made. Number 2. Karen wants to paint the ceiling of a restaurant. The ceiling is in the shape of a square. Its side lengths are 55 feet. Okay, so we need to find, suppose each can of paint will cover 275 square feet. How many cans will she need to paint the ceiling? Well, the first thing is, we're dealing with a square, and it's saying it's not a very pretty square. It's saying the side lengths are 55. That means all the side lengths are 55. So we need to find the area of that, which would be 55 times 55. So this is talking about just the ceiling. This is not a volume question, but it was kind of thrown in here. Oh well, it's all right. So I multiplied 55 times 55, and I got 3,025. Okay, now that's how many square feet, that's square feet total I have. And each can of paint only covers 275 square feet. So my question to you, are you going to multiply those two numbers, or are you going to divide the two numbers? And if you're thinking this is how much total it is and this is how much a can is worth, and they want to know how many cans will she need, I hope you know that you're going to divide 275 into 3,025. So 3,025 divided by 275 equals 11. Now, 11 what? Well, here's the nice thing. They put cans there, so you just have to realize that you're going to put your answer of 11 in there, and that means 11 cans of paint will be needed. Okay. The next one's straightforward. It's just finding the volume of this rectangular pyramid. So if you remember, we do length times width times height. And what are we going to divide that by? Just like the cone? 3. Okay, so I take 6 times 5 times 7 divided by 3. Okay, yes. For those of you that see this, yes, you can say how many times will 3 go into 6? 2. And then your answer is just going to be 2 times 5, which is 10. And then 10 times 7, which is 70. But for those of you that scares you, just go ahead and multiply it all out and use your calculator, because you will be able to. So 6 times 5, I'm sure you knew that was 30, times 7, 210 divided by 3. And you still get 70. Now you have to put your units of measure. So the units of measure, we're using feet, and when anything is volume, which is we're finding volume, it is cubed. Okay? All right. Number 4. These are going to go a lot faster than you think on this particular shape, triangular prism. All right, I'm just going to keep my little highlighting business going on. That's a triangle. This is a triangular prism. So all I have to do is I have to multiply the area of that triangle, all of the area of that triangle, times that height there. And those numbers are 5 and 8 for the triangle. Remember, the triangle area formula, okay, is 1/2 of either your base or your height times the other number, okay? So we're gonna take 1/2 of one of these numbers or multiply both of them together and take half of that. Well, I see half of 8's 4. Cool, 4 times 5 is 20. I just found the area of this triangle. It's 20. But I have to multiply it. Do not forget to multiply it by the other number that's in the equation. There will be 3 numbers. There's going to be a base and a height for your triangle, and then there's going to be another height of the entire prism. If I put that tall, if I turn it up, because somebody will go, why is that called a height? Well, they just call it that way. If I stood this up on its base, that would look like a tall, kind of like a canister would, a canister of Pringles. Right now it's turned on its side. Turn it up, then you can see a height. So 20 times 10, wow. Can we do that mentally? Please, please, yes, 200. And units of measure, it's volume, so it's feet cubed. Next question. Tammy's fertilizing her garden. Garden is in the shape of a rectangle. Its length is 14 feet and the width is 11 feet. Okay, this is kind of like the other area question. I don't see volume in this, I see area. Okay, so 14 feet times 11, I know first. Let's just multiply those together. And we get, just put divided by 14 times 11. And that's 154. Okay, now we've got 154. And suppose each bag of fertilizer covers 22 square feet. I'm going to try this again. I seemed a little low, but maybe it's not. No, that's it. Okay. So I've got 154, and that's for the garden. Okay, that's 154 square feet. And suppose each bag of fertilizer covers 22 square feet. So think of this. Think of each bag is 22 square feet. So within this 154, how many 22 square feet bags do I have? Or am I going to multiply that, or am I going to divide it? Again, one bag only covers 22 square feet inside of that. So I hope you know that this is divide. I hope you said that. Divide by 22, and I get 7. And luckily, I'm going 7 what? I forgot what I was looking for in the beginning. 7 bags. I gave you the word bags. All right, good. Now we go to another volume of the rectangular prism. So remember, this is just taking the length times width times height, which is the volume of a regular rectangular prism. I think I said prism a second ago. This is a pyramid. And what do? This is not a rectangular prism. It's a fraction of the size of a rectangular prism. So we're going to take those 3 numbers, there, and there, and what do we do with them? Divide by 3. Okay? There's my length, there's my width, there's my height. So I'm going to take, and I can take either multiply 2 of them by the other, because I can do this part of this in my head. I'm going to do the 9 times 9. I think everybody knows 9 times 9 is 81. I hope you know that. Times 8, and I got 648. But now, don't forget, it's 1/3 of the size of a rectangular prism, the pyramid is. So I'm going to divide this by 3. And I get 216. Again, you have to put your units of measure. So it's meters, not squared, but cubed, because this is a volume question. Okay? All right, number 7. Here we go. A company makes concrete bricks shaped like rectangular prisms. Each brick is 11 long, 8 wide, and 5 tall. All right, so I know I've got a rectangular prism. I know I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're going to multiply those numbers. I could take the first 2 numbers. It'll save me a little time. 8 times 11 is 88 times 5 equals 440. Okay, if they used 11,000 inches cubed of concrete, how many bricks did they make? Well, that's 1 brick. That's how much it takes for 1 brick, okay? And that's how much they use total. And again, it's a huge number. So what are you going to do? I'm hoping you know you're going to divide 11,000 by 440, okay? So 11,000 divided by 440. And that equals, that's crazy. Isn't that always crazy how it's such a small number? You got this big number divided by this number, which isn't that big to me, but you only get 25. 25 what? How many bricks did they make? 25 bricks. Always think, even if you get confused here, and you go, I can't remember, what was that 25 representing? Just go back to your question. The last part's gonna tell you what it's gonna be, all right? All right, number 8. We are flying through this. It's kind of, sort of. All right, okay, triangular prism. And the base is what? The base is the triangle, okay? And then what else do I need? I need that height, that length right there. And I'm now going to look at what the area is, the area of the triangle. Okay, so the area of the triangle is 1/2 of the base or the height or both multiplied all together. I'm going to take half of 6, or I could take half of 8. Doesn't matter, those are both is just as easy. I'm going to say half of 6 is 3, 3 times 8 is 24. Or if you said half of 8 is 4, 4 times 6 is 24. They both give you the same answer of 24 for the area. And then you can't forget to multiply that times the other number there, the other height. And we're going to do that now. 24 times 7 equals 168. Okay, and we have to put our correct unit. We're talking M for meters, and it's volume, so it's cubed. Another triangular prism, because we really do need practice with this. We learned it in 7th grade. I know you're saying, I don't remember that. Yeah, well, yeah. Now you know why it's so hard to be a teacher. Selective memory, students. Okay, there's the area of a triangle, and there's the other length that we need, or the height that we need. So we need to do 1/2 of the base or the height, or half of both, multiplied, pardon me, together. But I can see 6, just take half of 6. 3, what's 3 times 7? 21. That makes that easy. And then I just multiply it by 10. Geez, what's 21 times 10? It takes 21 and add the 0 to it to make it 210. And then what's the unit of measure? Yards. And what's the exponent? It's volume, so it's cubic yards. And our last question, I did that on purpose. I kept the easiest one for last. Length times width times height. Hopefully you really remember that the volume of a rectangular prism is just multiplying those 3 numbers together. Simply multiply the 3 numbers together, okay? So you're gonna go 4 times 9 times 8, and I'm just gonna start down here. 4 times 9, I know that, that's 36. So I'm gonna go 36 times the other number, which is 8, and that equals 288. Put your correct units of measure, inches, and is it squared or cubed? Well, area is squared, volume is cubed. So my answer is 288 inches cubed. Okay, well, we did okay. We're at 18 minutes. So that's the last lesson for the volume unit. Okay, there is a practice test, and you're welcome to try it out. I don't know if we'll ever take a test on this. I'm not sure. We don't know. We don't know when we're coming back to school. But if we do come back to school, yes, we will eventually take a test on this. So you could be doing the practice test now to make yourself an absolute master of the unit on volume. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.